Being a lawyer, the Indian law comes under a lot of scrutiny when it comes to being gender neutral. Some of the laws are considered pro-women, some of the laws are considered pro-man. Being a practitioner as well, what is your viewpoint or a take on that?
I'll take this question in parts. First is with respect to the existing law by itself and why it's called anti-women in a sense. There's a great degree of truth in that, given that law is a reflection of the power relationships which exist in society, where men have been the breadwinners and they have relegated women to a second form of citizenhood, where they are essentially catering to tasks to assist men as opposed to fulfilling and discovering their own identities. So I think law as it exists to some degree, even if not in substance, in practice does lean against women. Secondly, with respect to gender-specific laws which have been made recently for the benefit of women, I think men should also understand that certain provisions which have been introduced in substantive law have been done with a view towards correcting historic injustices as well as structural discrimination against women. Both of these exist. It is undeniable. And in a sense, I do have some form of discomfort when some degree of civil liberties or procedural thresholds to accused are lowered, because I believe that is also a very important goal in civil rights, that you have to limit the ability of state, or you have to require the state to prove beyond reasonable doubt that certain actions did take place. However, given the kind of society we are living in, as well as the grave amount of injustice to women, I moderate my views more often than not. Holistically viewed, laws require constant dialogue between society as well as the various stakeholders and men by themselves. And I'm sorry I'm sounding preachy, but I'm saying this to myself as much as to any other person. We have to appreciate that laws are not existing in a vacuum, and a certain provision of law, if it's written on text, even if it's in favor of women, when it's procedurally applied, breaks down. Secondly, we also have to appreciate the kind of social stigma and discrimination women face and the difficulties they face when they avail the legal process. This is in civil as well as criminal matters. Recently, we also noticed that certain men started objecting that how can women claim an equal share in the ancestral property. And I just feel that these arguments by themselves are very misplaced. Men have to be equally supportive of women's rights to gain their full identity towards a better society. When you look at it from that perspective, as opposed to an individualized sense of victimhood, that me as a man am being, marginalized by substantive law or certain powerful sections, liberal sections of media, as well as activists have hijacked any kind of meaningful reform towards men. I find these arguments to be deep-seated in terms of patriarchal notions, where a man thinks he always has an identity which is above a woman, and he doesn't see a woman as an equal partner. And I say partner not with the respect of some person who's in a romantic relationship or also has a familial tie to me. I'm saying it in the pure sense of a stranger who's just discriminated on the basis of her gender.